Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at these. And what these are the crossover Pringles with the hot ones. Yes. So these were out a while ago, and then they were limited run, and I think Apollo also got its own chip, but you had to order that special. And it was all kind of hinky, the way that it was rolled out, and to me, I thought about chasing all these down, and then I thought, I think I'd really rather do anything else. So I didn't. And but they all came back out again. This time they are a little bit more spread out. These particular ones I happened to get at Target. So I went down to Target, and I came across these. Although I had to dig for them a little bit. So I don't know that a lot of people are aware that these are out. I wasn't. I stumbled on these actually almost by accident. So yet another crossover, one that I kind of wanted to get to last time, but I kind of didn't want to go drive around and just go haunt a whole bunch of Walgreens trying to track these down because, well, I'm lazy. And also because, like, we're in the modern age, there has to be a better way of doing that. Short of me physically driving every single place. Is that worth it? For the wear and tear on the car, for the gas, and the more you're doing stuff like that, the greater the chances are that statistically that you potentially going to be driven into and all. Anyway, so I was able to get all three of these at one spot at Target. So I did, and we have got here. So these we'll get back into me chatting about these in a second. But so we have here the Barbacoa. This is all Los Calientes. So maybe Apollo just didn't make it this time. I don't know. This is the Verde. So the Verde, for the first 10 seasons of the hot ones, when it appeared, was actually just called Los Calientes and not Verde. And then when they came out with this one, the Rojo, then they had to differentiate between the Los Calientes original, which was the Verde, and the Rojo, which is a red, of course. And all that, of course, is distinct from Barbacoa. And I assume this has to do with who is producing the sauces for First We Feast. I don't know who these ones actually are. Some of these might be Karma's. I heard Cutino maybe made one for them one time. I'm not up on that lore. I don't know. But so here I am not seeing. So Pringles, here's one of the reasons I was not super fascinated about doing these, is Pringles have been very disappointing to me, almost universally, for quite some time. And so that one, we don't see a pepper listed at all for the Barbacoa. I assume that will be the case here as well. It's just under the nebulous spices, which is meaningless. One of the other things I noticed, though, that some of these hot ones crossovers are doing is they're saying they're inspired by these things, but not directly involving the things that they're inspired by any longer. And I wonder if that is the case here as well. Again, I don't see anything there listing a pepper. This one, so I think both of these are habanero, the Los Calientes Verde and the Los Calientes Rojo, I believe, are both habanero, but I don't see that listed here. Barbacoa, I don't actually remember. All three of these have onions, so I've not done the actual sauces themselves. Looking back historically through these, Rojo and Verde were in both the 4 and 5 slots, and I believe Barbacoa was only a 4 slot. So these are probably all fairly similar heat levels. if I had to guess. And I do because I don't have any information on these as to what is what. So let's crack them on open. All right. And again, you can see, man, like this is how they're cooked. This is so pathetically lazy. My disappointment with Pringles honestly continues unabated. We'll see how much flavoring is actually on these, I guess, when I get into them, and whether or not any of these are any good. I'm not expecting that to be the case. I'm going to be honest. I didn't smell this one. Let's do that. This one smells like salted Pringles. The Barbacoa, it does not actually smell like anything else. So here's the hot ones. This is the Verde. Verde seems like it has more coating on it. It's a little hard to pick out though. Oh, it definitely smells as if it has more coating on it. So this one, the Verde, we might maybe have a little bit of punch to it. Rojo, or I mean the Barbacoa so far, probably not. Here's the Rojo, and yeah, so this one is actually a lot better than is the, well, maybe not. It's just these little tiny stripes. This one and the Barbacoa. It seems like this one's the only one. The Verde is the only one that's semi-coated. Rojo has a bit of a smell to it, almost like there's a chipotle sort of component in there. And well, let's start with the Barbacoa, I guess. Let's grab a few of these and we'll take them on downtown. This tastes like a powder you would put in a pot of chili. Man. Very, very slight amount of heat. Yeah. All right, so here, let's do it this way. So here is the Barbacoa. I'm going to do a burn of all three of these. This one I'm giving a default 1 just because it's snowing and I'm feeling charitable. All right, let's try the Verde. Oh man, these are foul. Oh. Oh, these are not good. Every time they do a Los Calientes Verde for a flavoring system on any of the spin-off stuff, I think it invariably works the least well of anything. This is definitely notably hotter though. Oh, man. These are, there's a lot of flavoring on these. Oh, man. Oh. Oh. This one I'm not. I probably will finish off the Barbacoa. This Los Calientes Verde is going to the bin after this. That is not good. Okay, let's do a palate cleanser. This one I will give a legit 1. This one's a default 1. Again, very moderate heat though overall. Actually, Powerade the bottle this time. Usually, most of the time when you see this, it's with Mio Sweet Tea. Okay. The Rojo. Oh, that's foul too. Oh. 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 It's bad. It's bad. Real bad. Real bad, Cletus. It's bad. Ugh, rummy. All right, so Los Calientes Verde is hotter than the other two. Like, notably hotter. This one, again, I will give a default one. So Barbacoa is the only one with any even a semi-decent flavor. And I don't know that I've had products with the Rojo and the Verde before. I don't think I've had the Barbacoa spin off anything. I've had some of their classic, the hot ones classic, some of those. The Snack Club, I vaguely remember liking the Rojo somewhat on that one. Okay, so in terms of heat, we already have our winner. It's this one, Los Calientes Verde. In terms of flavor, it is this, the Barbacoa. But again, it's not. I think it's winning by default, honestly. It's the only one of these that's just not entirely offensive. None of these are what I would call good, and that I feel like that sometimes is the way that the case just kind of goes with the Hot Ones crossover stuff. Is that sometimes it's interesting, and sometimes it's just. First We Feast is really good at marketing. It really good at marketing. Really good at marketing. So, and that's where I kind of think these sort of fit into, as well as, some of the other stuff. But they also have a collaboration with Ragu, with they call them cooking sauces. They're not pasta sauces per se. They call them cooking sauces. That one, stay tuned for that. I will be doing that as well. I try to get to as many of these things as possible, just because the Hot Ones is such a force, in the chili head world. So, okay, well, I think we're ready now to start the burn. So we're going to start with the Barbacoa and just go right on down the line. From least hot to most hot, as the show purports to do as well. So let's get into it. I wish this was a bit smokier. If the Barbacoa was a little bit smokier, this would be an actual good chip. Really, Pringles needs all of them they can get. Not like they're flush with great flavored chips. Also, man, fix your sprayers. Jeez. All right, hardly any heat after the first wave. Now we enter the Rojo here. Oh. 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 These are ghastly. All right. Just a little pin prickly of heat at the moment, and let's suffer some more. You know what these taste like? It tastes like a really bad tomatillo sauce. Yeah. I think this is a hard flavor to pull off. This is not the worst, though. This one is. This is bad, to be sure. But the Rojo is just, awful. I really hate this labeling, too. Oh, it's just horrendous. Okay. All right, after the burn, we're sitting at, I mean, I'll give a legit one. Not too much higher than this just by itself, though. So I got these three here for $5 total at Target, which is good because they were normally $2.50 a throw. So even still, $7.50 would be where it would have been otherwise. But three of them for $5 is definitely a better deal. Considering though, this is a really expensive can of Pringles because I'm binning these two. These are just not worth eating. And that's kind of one of the issues I think I have a lot with Pringles. I think a lot of their stuff, I come to that exact conclusion. It's just not worth eating. And I don't know how close these were to when they originally came out. I don't know. I didn't have them in the original run. But if the flavors in the original run were as bad as these are, I'm actually kind of surprised they brought them back at all. These are just... The Barbacoa is okay. This one actually is the closest to a good flavor. Like I said, if you throw a little bit of smokiness into the flavoring system here, you have a pretty good chip. I think that's the only thing that this one is really missing overall is just some of that smokiness. And it's right there. It is right there. These two are not resurrectable as far as I'm concerned. They are just awful. And I don't want to ever eat either one of those again. I mean, I won't be, but they're brutal. And it just kind of amazes me that, I mean, I guess that's where you can tell what a force that the hot ones has become. You know, when stuff like this is able to make it out into the marketplace. Because I can't imagine anybody tasting either of these two and going, oh, there we go. Because they're not good. They're quite the opposite, in fact. This one is slightly less offensive than this one. Both of them are just bad, though. They're sour tasting. The flavor is just, it's just not good. There's another way to say it. The flavor is actively bad. And again, I'm not familiar with these sauces. I don't think I've actually had a product using. So this one, the Snack Club one, that way they use Rojo there was pretty good. This was not even remotely good. And I tried to think, because the Hot Pockets things, I don't remember the ones that were using this system or whatever being any good. The only one I enjoyed, the Rojo was also putrid, but the only one I remember liking was the, and I've had it numerous times since then, was the one with the garlic Fresno. And the garlic Fresno is actually, functions pretty well. I think in some of these other settings, even though it's a very vinegar forward sauce. But these two are, the Los Calientes Verde, I just don't think that this is ever going to work for me. I just, not really a fan of it. The Rojo, only in certain circumstances. Barbacoa, I'm not familiar with. I don't know if it's been used in any of their crossover stuff before. But here, like I said, just that hint of smokiness, and this would be right there. So I guess I'm more positive about that one. But I think they all have onions, so I'm not looking to do any of the sauces at any point. So don't look for those. But yeah, again, I've done a lot of Pringles. There's you can check out the crisp playlist for the rest of those. And I've done quite a number of those. And most of the time I've been pretty disappointed. Certainly not changing with these. Pringles is just, like a lot of other foodstuffs in the modern age, they are a shadow of their former selves, as far as that goes. So I wasn't really expecting anything too highly going into this. I think a lot of the crossovers are really hit or miss. But, we approach this kind of thing with an open mind, because it is possible that, if you're open to change, you could find something that is unexpectedly much better than you expected. Not the case here, but we're going to go on trying in the next one and every other one. So, but for this one, we're going to leave it right there. Barbacoa, the only one in my view worth getting, and definitely the best flavor to these two. If you're looking for heat, the Los Calientes Verde was the only one with any real particular heat. And I would put this probably right around the hottest of the Pringles scorching line. Maybe a little bit higher even, slightly higher than that. Not much more than that. Apollo, if they did it this run, didn't make it to stores, and I'm not going to order a case or whatever nonsense they want you to do online. So if I come across it somewhere, somehow, maybe, but I don't think they actually did it this run. So, and from what I can tell, there's not a lot of restocking going on in these. So if you're interested in these, I would say to jump on their limited run for the second time as well. So if you're interested, jump on these. But again, from a flavor perspective, Barbacoa is it. And from a heat perspective, Los Calientes Verde is it. And we'll just leave it right there. So that was the Hot Ones and Pringles collab for these potato crisps, such as they were. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.